Welcome to the Builders of Authority podcast, a show committed to helping you build authority for your brand. In the realm of business and personal branding, authority stands as a cornerstone. Authority isn't built overnight, it's built over time. So join us as we build something remarkable together. And now, here's your host, Adam McChesney.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Builders of Authority podcast. We're live here at Adventure Unknown in Fenton, Missouri. If you're in the St. Louis area, you're an entrepreneur, someone that's just looking for an awesome community at a great place with tons of events, networking, and just great people, would love to have you out here to Adventure Unknown. So feel free to shoot me a message on social media. Text me if you have my number, email me in, and would love to set that up. You'll also be able to see what we do here at Punchline Productions with our podcast specifically. So thanks to Punchline Productions for everything that they do, making this show possible. Without it, it literally wouldn't happen each and every single week. So you'd be able to see the podcast studio, see the pickleball court, see everything that we have going on here. So today we have another live episode. I'm joined by somebody I got connected with a few months ago due to my involvement up here at Adventure Unknown and also by doing my podcast with Punchline Productions. She's also a host of a show that's up here and does a lot of work back and forth with Punchline. When it comes to building a personal brand and creating content, there's very few people that I look at and go, wow, they're at a completely different level than myself. And today's guest is one of those people. But it's not just the amount of content or the quality of the content or the amount of followers that she has. It's about the authenticity and talking about, in my opinion, the real stuff that actually needs to be talked about, not all of the trends and making money, the stuff that if you actually have a serious conversation with an entrepreneur, the ups and the downs, or just anybody in life, the things that need to be discussed. So today I'm joined by Ashley. Ashley, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. What a great intro. I appreciate that.
I meant every bit of it. So.
Oh, it was awesome. Thank you.
So tell people a little bit about who Ashley is.
Okay. So I started social media, it's been, I want to say about close to 3 years ago. However, 3 years ago and still today, the intention was never to build a brand at all. And that still isn't my intention at all, but it just so happens that it had happened. So I'm grateful for that. But yeah, no, I just started speaking out about, at the time, I was going through divorce and I was struggling with identity. I'd been married for 10 years. I didn't really know who I was anymore. And there had been some really traumatic things that had happened in my life that I never really got therapy for or help for. And I realized how lost I felt. And so I just started talking online, I'm going to talk about what I'm feeling because if I feel this way, surely other people do. Yeah. And I thought if I can encourage someone else, even if they're just one step behind me in their journey of healing, then I'll do that. And that actually healed me too, and that's kind of how this all started. I literally just pushed record and it just worked. I really didn't think it would. I wasn't doing it with the intention of I'm going to gain followers. I was doing it with the intention of I need to talk about this and I want to encourage other people because I know how much I need that too. So.
One of the funny correlations I find between a lot of the people that end up having the most impact and the biggest brand is it was never the initial intention. It was always exactly what you said, to help other people, and then through that help yourself. When you are needing, hey, I'm going to make this post, or I'm going to do this YouTube video, or I'm going to make 10 cold calls, and you're like, I need something from it, is usually when you never get it. But it's the fruit of having the right mindset and having the right intention behind it, which it sounds like that was kind of from the forefront, your aspect of doing everything.
100%. I can honestly say that if I had sought out to gain some sort of following, I would have never been authentic. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I genuinely had nothing to gain other than it felt good to be real, and it felt good to see that other people needed to hear what I was saying. Yeah. And so I think, and I've noticed too, just in the 3 years that have transpired, I've stuck with my internal compass, which has always been, don't make this about anything else. And there was one time, it was about 1.5 years ago, this is kind of a funny story, but I posted a couple of bikini pictures, which I don't ever do. I was really feeling myself. I was in California and, my friend took some pictures of me and edited them all up. And then I got blasted by this influencer who had close to 1 million followers. And I was getting death threats and thousands upon thousands of messages of people just horrendous online bullying. And thank God at that time, even though that really hurt and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore,
Yeah.
it made me reevaluate and go, wait a minute, why am I posting bikini pictures? My entire platform has been built on authenticity,
Sure.
on healing and in growing and evolving and getting through hard relationships and finding yourself. So who is this serving? Who is this for? And I realized that was for me.
Yeah.
It wasn't for the people that were following me. And so it made me reevaluate everything and start again. And now I'm back where I started. But after that, I grew even more.
Yeah.
And so I genuinely think that the entire purpose of social media is to serve people with what you know about. Like if you have something that you know can help someone, that's the entire point.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, so it's interesting that you say kind of that aspect, because I was in Nicaragua a couple weeks ago. So I have 30 employees down there, and it was when all the chaos was going on social media with the Charlie, like all of that stuff. Just that, I mean, people were yelling at it. I mean, it still is kind of that. And we were sitting there driving, and of course he's never been to the United States, knows, the aspect of social media and what's going on because it's everywhere. Right. But he was like, Adam, like, how do you show up every single day when sometimes during those times you can't help but see all of the chaos? And, he's like, man, and then I wrote a post the week before about like investing money in my team, and somebody like multiple people wrote negative comments, and he's just like, you were doing nothing. Like, how does that affect? He's basically saying, why do you continue to do it?
Yeah.
And it was more along the lines of like, kind of like what you said is like, this isn't for me anymore.
Yeah.
And when it does become about me, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And so like, I think so many people get the social media aspect wrong, because if you're true and authentic and you know what you're bringing to the table, when you get those negative comments, sometimes it is a good reminder of like, oh, hey, maybe I veered off the path a little bit. But most importantly is like, whether you do good or you don't do good, or you show up or you don't show up, people are going to say about it one way or the other.
Yeah.
And it then helps weed out a lot of the people that probably shouldn't have been around to begin with.
Yeah. No, it's so true. And I had to learn early on too, because I would get, even in the very beginning when my posts were still very like, authentic and like, which they still are, but just like very raw and new. And I really didn't know what I was doing. I would get so many negative comments. People would comment about my looks, and that hurt at first until I realized like, it doesn't matter. Like whatever I'm creating, it isn't for them.
Yeah.
Right. It's not for them. And I had to get really set on, okay, who is it for and what is it for? And once I got so super solid in my entire purpose of creating in the first place, all the other stuff I could kind of let roll off my shoulder. It just didn't bother me anymore. Yeah. So even like the guy that, posted that video about me, it was really hard to watch, but there was a grain of truth to it as well.
Yeah.
And so I was able to look at that as, okay, if he thinks that, and this is a stranger who knows nothing about me, his opinion may not be true. Yeah. But I did do something different than what I set out to do. So I tried to use it as a learning lesson, right? If the comments are just, you're ugly and you're fat and, stupid things like that, I laugh about it now because I know who I am. I know what I'm doing. I know my intentions. I know that, the things that I have said have helped a lot of people. So that kind of stuff is just like, who cares?
Yeah. It's a unfortunate byproduct of doing good things and helping people, right? You're always going to see it and you're always going to get it. And I do believe, like, I know it's a kind of like a cliche thing to say, but like when those things start to happen, it's really validation that this is working.
Yeah.
Because it's getting out to enough people to where you're going to see craziness and you're going to see all that. Do that. I tell people all the time when they get that first negative remark or they're starting people that are making posts about them, I said, hey, like now you find, like you thought you made it before, but now is actually where it's kind of taking off and the impact is there. So that's very interesting. One of the things that I think as I've kind of had my personal brand over the last 5 or so years, I've talked a lot about just like the journey of entrepreneurship as a whole. And I rarely, I always tell my students and people that are following me, like 10 to 20% is like the widget that we're selling. The other 80 to 90% is the personal. It's the ups and the downs of the entrepreneurship. And I think I could even do better at like sharing all of the stuff that makes sense, right? A lot of people, they get on social media and they create the content, even though they do want to help the impact, but they're like, I don't want to share everything. Or I don't really want people to know that like I'm struggling. Yeah. Right. And so what would you say to that person that's probably not giving it their all? That's kind of like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. creating their posts thinking about what is somebody going to think about this, not what I really want to say.
Well, I would say that's twofold because it's not for everybody.
Yeah, true.
And there are a lot of people that are like, I just want to do it to do it, right?
Yeah.
And if that's the case, it's probably not for you. There probably are other ways that make more sense for who you are. Because some people are very private, and that's okay. Like, I totally get it. Like, not everything is everyone's business, right? But there's a level of transparency that is required.
Yeah.
If you really want to make an impact. Like if you think about anyone that you admire that is super well known or famous or, huge mentors that you look up to, their life is on the table for everyone to see. There's no way around it.
Yeah.
So you either have to be willing to go, okay, I know myself well enough to know that whatever people see in me is a true representation of who I am, so I have nothing to fear.
Yeah.
Right? Or this isn't for me because I really want a private life. But you don't get to do both.
Exactly.
You either are all in or you're not in at all.
Yeah.
And your life, like for me, I look at it as this. My entire life's purpose is to learn and evolve and get better and grow. And I have nothing to hide. Because I know I'm imperfect. I know I have flaws. That's the whole reason I'm doing this, because I'm learning through it. And that is my purpose now. My struggles are literally out for everyone to see, because as I learn through it, they can learn through it too. So you have to have the mindset of, okay, my life is my sacrifice.
Yeah.
Right? Like my life is my purpose. My story is my purpose. And if your story is the purpose, you have to be willing to share it.
Yeah. Well, and I think with that is people will always ask me, well, hey, Adam, like I've been creating content for longer than you have, or I think my content's doing so good. Like, why are you growing? And I'm like, it's all relative to, you can look at you doing it for 10 years and me doing it for 5. Like I may have I'm not going to say this like for sure, but like maybe I've just been doing it better or more focused for 5 and you've been doing it longer. Doesn't make no differently than somebody could be doing it for a year and be way further ahead than me, because something takes off. But with that is it really does tie back to the purpose and the reason behind it. And then the authenticity that goes with it. I said like, hey, like most of when I was coaching this person, I said, most of your stuff is very surface level.
Yeah.
Right. And then as I'm telling him all the different things, like, I can't believe you talked about getting a coach and going to therapy and all these different things. It's like, yes, but that is what most people need.
Exactly.
Right. Like the fact that I go see a therapist every single week to talk about what's going on in my life and going on with business, and I have a mindset coach and I have a business coach. I'm not saying everybody can do that at any given moment, but like that's what I need right now. And I'm willing to invest in that. So then that way I can be better, to show up better. But most people just want to talk about like, oh, hey, things are going really, really good. And then not really know that everybody thinks that people are looking at them and think, oh my gosh, they're perfect. It's like, everybody knows that we're not.
And that's just the thing. Like you can see it all over. Like everyone is struggling with something. Not everyone is doing really, really well.
Yeah.
Right? So the people that are struggling don't really want to see everyone doing really, really well. As terrible as that sounds, like no one wants to look at someone's life and feel like I'll never be able to have that.
Yeah.
No, that doesn't feel good. Right? What feels good is being able to see somebody who might look like they have it together mostly, but is willing to say, I'm struggling today.
Yeah.
Like I actually am in therapy again. I'm actually not good in this one area. Like I might be a millionaire here, but I feel really lonely. Like people want to be able to relate to you as a human being. And we're all human and we're all flawed and we all struggle and we all go through challenges. There is no such thing as a perfect life. And so anyone who's trying to show a perfect life, like it's not real.
Yeah.
Right? And that's not relatable. And so that's the unfortunate truth. It's like, that's why sharing your story is so important and being authentic is so important, because people can see it a mile away when it's not.
Yeah.
And
then I think even with that is like, you're talking about going and being authentic and sharing everything and doing everything, is the people that come to me, whether they're like, hey, Adam, like, I need a business coach right now because I'm struggling so much over here.
Yeah.
I'm going to make this post today because I need 5 clients in order to make ends meet, whether it's therapy, whether it's coaching, whether it's building your personal brand or doing all this stuff. Again, kind of going back to the point, if you wait till the last minute to do something, you're running a marathon on Saturday and you just start today, right? If you wait until like your life is in shambles to then go get the therapist, the next thing that most people do is they go get okay for a minute and then they quit therapy.
Yeah.
They go hire a coach and then they solved this one problem, then I quit. I lost weight and then it all comes back. The best and what I would refer to as like the most wholesome and most successful people that I know is they get the help before they actually need it. And then they stay consistent through and through, because it's not a matter of like if something will pop back up, it's when.
Yeah.
Life and business, regardless if you're an entrepreneur or not, like stuff is going to come up. And if you're not prepared to handle that, that's where things start to really be chaotic.
Well, and at least if that's the case, be honest about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
be like, hey, I'm dealing with this. I need help.
There's probably a lot of other people that also procrastinate. There's probably a lot of other people that are like, I don't really want help. But then eventually their life blows up and they realize they have to get it. There's someone that can relate to that.
Yeah.
That's going to be like, okay, you broke down and you ain't got help. Maybe I should too.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So at the very least, if that's who you are, that's okay. But be honest about it.
Yeah.
Tell somebody about it.
Absolutely.
You know?
What would you say you started 3 years ago, right? You kind of mentioned, hey, I just turned the camera on. I started doing it. How have you grown in the process? Obviously, I know you mentioned a lot of like your own healing, a lot of your own learning, but like, what are some of the key takeaways where you're like, wow, I didn't expect me just creating content and sharing my story would have done X, Y, or Z?
I would say there's so many things. Honestly, the power of community. I didn't realize how important that was.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how being genuine, how many people that would bring into like a support. I got so much support myself.
Yeah.
Right. There's of course, like we talked about, the few voices here and there that are like, your car is driving so slow because you're too heavy. It's like, okay, whatever. Yeah. But I didn't realize what a beautiful community would be created from that, of people that are like, I understand this. I'm going through this. You're amazing. Thank you for what you do. Like, I get so much, like, so many beautiful messages every single day of my life that honestly, it's what keeps me going.
Yeah.
It's like, even when it's hard and I feel like I have those moments where I'm like, I don't want to share. Those are the things that keep me going, because it makes me realize how important it is. And that heals me too.
Yeah.
Like, I think that, and the other thing, so much of my healing has come from being really, really, really honest and realizing that I had nothing to fear. Realizing that putting myself out there 100% for who I actually am and what I'm actually going through, there was nothing to actually fear at all. And that's the thing. People are always so scared to be open and honest, like you said earlier. But it's like, what do you have to fear? You think that even the person with the negative comments isn't going through the same things?
Yeah.
You think that they haven't been through things too? Like, there is no one who is better or really worse than you. Like, we're all human. We're all going through the same types of journeys. They may look a little bit different, but there is no one getting it all right. And so removing that fear of being transparent has healed me a lot, because it's helped me learn to love myself and realize that I can have grace for myself too. And then just like giving me a purpose that I didn't even know that I had. I like I said, I started off almost kind of talking to myself.
Yeah.
Right? And sometimes I still do. But for the most part, it's given me a purpose outside of myself. It's given me a way to serve other people by being that voice that's encouraging them along the way. And there's nothing greater than that. There's no greater feeling in the world than I took the pain that I had been through, and instead of letting it break me and let me fall apart, which sometimes it felt like it was, but I was able to just be real, honest, transparent, and it helped other people. And now I can keep doing that. And I have nothing to fear anymore. Like that, it's truly changed like the way I view myself, the purpose that I have for getting up every day, and who I want to be.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Taking a situation that could have gone negative and probably did at times, and channeling that energy to say, hey, I'm going to give out this, but here's why.
Yeah.
And instead of letting it consume you.
Yeah. And just not being afraid anymore. Like, that's so huge. And that's the thing I tell, like, I have young women come to me a lot and they're like, how do I start? I'm just so scared to share. I want to help women. I want to help, men, but I don't want to put my life out there, like you said. And it's like, you don't have anything to fear, though. Like, the people that you're wanting to speak to, they're going through it too.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're not as unique as you think you are in your problems.
Everyone thinks that they are.
Right?
And you realize you're not.
Yeah. And that's the thing, having the platform that I have now and seeing how many thousands of people are on there, I'm going, okay, a lot of us are struggling.
The same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same or similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
So kind of shifting gears a little bit to kind of talk like how you do it all, right? So like all the different platforms, all the different like, hey, is it podcasts or is it a live like, I know you do so much stuff. Like how did you kind of like get to where you're at? And then how do you actually manage it all?
So one step at a time.
Yeah.
I'm a dreamer. Okay. Like I have big dreams and I don't know if you listen to Jordan Peterson at all.
Oh yeah.
But I freaking love him. He's like a prophet in my eyes, but he says it so well that if the mountain is too big, you'll never climb it. But if you take one step at a time, you'll get to the top. And what I love about that is that I'm the type of person that on my own accord, I'm like, give me the huge big picture and I just want to do it. And then I get stuck and I freeze and I'm like, I can't do that. It's too much. It's too much. But being able to just every day, one little thing towards where I want to be and grace for myself along the way, because I like to go really fast, right? But not everything can be done overnight, you know, and none of this has. It's all been a process of just every single day showing up in a different way that leads me towards the common goal, right?
How do you have that conversation? Because I think like a lot of us I'm that way too. And so it goes back to kind of community, team, peers, mentors, coaches of being like, hey, Adam, like we're not going to be able to solve all of the world's problems and your ambitions by Friday. Or even like the tough aspect of like this year, especially like that is a Q1 thing. How do you, I'm not going to say like reset your goals, but to a certain aspect of say like, hey, like I understand I can go tackle this at some point, but now is not maybe the right time to do it.
Well, I don't look at anything as I'm going to tackle this. I look at it as I'm just going to try.
Okay.
I'm going to try every little step. I'm going to take that next step, whatever that looks like. I might be really slow with one. I might do a couple really quick, but either way, like I don't give myself a timeline anymore. Because at the end of the day, like as long as I'm waking up each day with the intention in mind, it'll happen.
Yeah.
And I don't want to play God. I don't want to be like, okay, I have to have this by October 25th or I can't do it anymore because I'll quit.
Yeah.
Like if I give myself a deadline, and I might be different than, other people, but if I give myself a timeline, I'll panic and I won't do it.
Yeah.
So I had to get really, 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 really patient with my big dreams. And Jamie, Jamie Thurber, she coached me a lot too. And she helped me with that a lot, with like the little tiny things every single day that matter and add up. And that's the hardest part.
Yeah.
That is the hardest part, is going, okay, quit giving yourself a finish line. Just know that it's there. It's yours.
Yep.
And every step you take gets you there. And when it happens, it happens. Like, and I'm sure there's some things that require a timeline, but I try not to do that.
I think there is there's something to that, right? So like I have my, I call him like my life and mindset coach. We work a lot on like meditation and breathe, like just the core of Adam. So then that Adam can go do all of the things, right? But he is just him running his company, right? He coaches men entrepreneurs that are usually husbands and fathers that have one or multiple businesses, but he's the guy that like brings everybody, kind of like says, hey, Adam, like you need to have certain goals with timelines in certain instances, but some stuff just is the infinite game of everything. And he's like the guy that lives in Nicaragua that surfs half the week, just like one of those really chill dudes. And so like there is a part of me that like as quickly as I like to go with things, I have to come back to center and say like, this is actually like an ongoing process. We can like put a timeline to it, and then once we get there, like it's gonna unlock the next series of stuff. Like there's some stuff that we're just always gonna be like chasing after, and it's healthy to have kind of that mix of both things while not losing yourself in the process. Because that was gonna be my next question: is as you kind of have been working with people and seeing their navigation is I feel like so many people lose who they are in the process of chasing after that goal.
100%.
So
That happens almost
me,
every time.
Talk to me a little bit about
well, that's
that.
what I've noticed a lot with most of the people that, especially when it comes to social media, which is it's its own world, right? Yeah. It's that people go in with the mindset of, I want to be a brand and I want to build it within 2 months. And it's like, that's not going to happen. Nobody cares who you are, right? Like if you're not serving a purpose, if your entire point is, I just want to be a brand of something, I just want my face to be seen, no one cares. And I know that sounds really, really harsh, but it's just the truth. Yeah. Like there's a million beautiful faces. There's a million, there's a million of you to a degree, right? That are already out there doing it, right? So if you don't have a specific purpose in mind and the concept of this is the long game, you're going to burn it up. Yeah. You're not going to do it. You're not going to make it because social media is, one, it's a lot like the lottery, right? Yeah, it is. You just don't know. Yeah. You can put in effort every single day for 2 years and nothing comes of it, right? And then one day you're like, I'm done. I don't want to do it anymore. And you have a video pop off and it goes skyrockets, but you just don't know. Yeah. What I can tell you though, is that if you go in with the long game in mind of this is just something I'm going to do forever. I'll do it for free if I have to, but I have a purpose that I want to serve. There's a need that needs filled and I believe I'm the person that can do that. Then you will probably make it. Yeah. All right. Right? Because people are desperate for authenticity, like we've talked about, and they're desperate for somebody to be open and honest and say something that they can feel. Yeah. Right. So if you're just on there like, I am so-and-so and I'm this and that and I want to do this and that, nobody cares. What they care about is their own problems, their own struggles. Right. So you can't have a timeline in mind when it comes to social media. And again, I know that's different than other things. There are some things that have to. Yeah. Yeah. But
I think so I tell people all the time is like, if I could go back and start it all over again, like I almost had more fun creating content and doing stuff when I wasn't making money from it. And there was no like direct correlation because there was less on the line, I guess, even though that like I obviously needed it at some point to make money with it. But what I mean by that is like, I have less and less time to actually go create content now. Yeah. Like I do so much content and people see it and like, how do you accomplish it all? It's like time management and being very strict and disciplined, but there's so much more stuff I want to do. Yeah. I just can't do it. But like back then, if I were doing it all again with the information, the knowledge and the experience, I'm like, I could do so much stuff back then. And so I think a lot of people, they try to rush through that process to say, hey, I just need the end result when it's like, really, it's the journey of who you become on the process and what you learn. And I always say is like, thinking back to just working out of my house, it was just me and I was the only employee back in 2020. It was like there was obviously a lot less money, but there was a lot less stress. There was more fun to be had in certain instances because I also didn't have the stress and the anxiety of having 30 employees and all of these clients and all of their families that are impacted by it. So people always try to like rush to the next thing. It's like, just enjoy where you're at because you can't get that back.
Well, and the thing is too, especially with social media, is that if you wouldn't do it for free because it feels like something you really enjoy, you shouldn't do it at all. Like if you wouldn't do it for free, you shouldn't do it at all. Yeah. Not because you won't ever make money from it. Yeah. But the odds are really low. And the odds of you getting on there and being like, I'm doing this to make money and then actually making money are really even lower. Really low. So it's like, if it's not a passion project that you would do if 5 people were watching every day, you probably shouldn't do it. Yeah. And I've had that mindset from day one and I still do. I don't care how many views I get on each post. I don't care how many likes I get. I don't care how many comments I get. I don't care about any of that. My goal has always been, if it helps one person, that was good enough for me.
And that's a commonality between, again, the people that I believe that are most successful. That's the same thing as like, hey, whether it's 1 or it's 100 or 1,000, it's the same thing. And then you always have the people that are like, well, I only got 100 views on that. Yeah. Like, you know how expensive it would be for you to get in a room with 100 people? Yeah. And get there. Like, we always discount it because there's the comparison, which becomes the thief of joy of say, hey, this person's done that. And just take it for what it's worth. Yeah. And like, I will spend 30 minutes sometimes writing and crafting the perfect post that I think is going to get because it does go through my mind like, oh, this is really good. Like, I can't wait to share it. Like, I'm assuming this post is going to do well. And then it doesn't. And then I take 2 seconds to write a post and it has nothing to do with anything. And then it blows,
it's the
those are the things that happen. But if you can't take the good with the bad, then you don't really need to be doing it at all. Like, it's a roller coaster.
It really is. I would say that for me, the posts that have made the biggest impact and gotten me where I am were the ones that I didn't even like.
Yeah.
Literally the ones that I was like, I'm just doing it because I need to say this, but no one cares. Like literally, the post that made me go viral on TikTok was me sitting in my car. Wasn't anything fancy. I was crying. I had just gone through another breakup after, being single for the first time in a really long time. And it was starting to hit me that I was the problem, right? Like, not that what had happened to me was something I deserved, but that I was the one letting people in my life that didn't deserve to be there, right? I was the one overlooking red flags, right?
Sure.
And I made this post and I was crying and I went back to delete it like an hour later because I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I posted that. That was so dumb. Like, I don't want anyone to see that. And it had like 200,000 views in like an hour. And I was like, what is going on?
Wow.
I didn't even know what was happening.
Yeah.
Within like 3 hours, it was like 500,000 views. By the next day, it was at 1 million. And I was like, what is happening right now? Wow. And by like 3 weeks, it was up to like 3 million and then 5 million, then 8 million, then 10. And it just kept going. And now it's over like 20 million views. It's my most viewed video. And I almost deleted it within like an hour of posting it because I thought it was so stupid.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's like, you don't know what people need. So that's why you can't keep count of everything on there. You just have to post what you believe people need to hear. And if it's, like I said, one person or 20 million, you don't know, but it's not for you to decide. You just have to show up. You show up, say the thing, and you leave it be and let God decide who needs it, you know?
Yeah. And I think so many people are like, well, what's the algorithm going to like? And all, like, I tell people all the time is like, if we're talking about consistency over time, right? So if you're consistently like doing against the algorithm every single time, and it's like, hey, you need to write more than 5 words and you only write 3 words like that is a problem that you're not fixing with the algorithm. But if you're trying to say, hey, I have this post and I'm trying to figure out what it's going to need to go viral, you're thinking about it the wrong way because it really is the algorithm.
Yeah.
And the impact that post or that video has that it will ultimately decide it.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like, hey, you thought it was going to do better and it doesn't, but that unfortunately is just like the way of it is.
The ones I liked the most of my own that I was like, this is going to hit.
Yeah.
This is going to hit somebody. I know it. It's like 30 views.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I liked it. So it hit for me. So that's all that matters, But yeah, that's so true. And I'm a big fan of screwing the algorithm because I truly, genuinely believe that if this is your calling, is to speak to people and help people heal, it's just going to happen.
Yeah.
The algorithm is what it is. I don't follow any of the rules. I never have. I won't because it's just like, I don't want to have to keep up with it. It changes constantly. Right. And I don't care. I just don't care.
Yeah.
So
what are all the different things that you have your hands in that you do? I know you kind of mentioned, obviously you have the platform now, the pot, like talk to me about everything that you have.
Yeah. So I have revenue that comes in now just passively through posts and things like that, which is awesome. I never thought I'd get there, but here we are. And then I do the podcast, which, I've gotten, and it's sponsored now, which is amazing. Thank you, Jamie, for that. And then I do one-on-one coaching sessions and I do mentorship for people. And it's mostly around like coming out of toxic relationships or healing to get back into relationships. So yeah, that's pretty much what I do now. Everything I do is online stuff now. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
As we're kind of transitioning, kind of wrapping up the episode here today, is there any last pieces of maybe stuff that you're like, hey, we talked about this, but this also pertains to that would kind of help the person that maybe they're not going all in on social media, they haven't started it, or they just have a story to share that would actually help them heal, that they're just not doing it?
I would say like your story is your purpose. Your story is your purpose. The things that you overcome are your calling. You going from broken to healed and then sharing that is what changes the world. And being brave enough to say, my story matters. Like my story actually matters and it will help someone. And if I can do it, I can help them do it. That's the whole point. Right? And not caring what people think. Like, if you want to make a difference in the world, let go of the opinions of what people have of you and know that who you're helping matters more than who you're irritating for no reason at all.
Yeah.
You know, like, just put yourself out there. You have nothing to hide. You have nothing to hide. Like, what you have been through will help a lot of people. And that's so much more important. It's just so much more important. So I would say your story is your purpose, and continue to follow the purpose over the opinions of other people, because they don't matter. They're not going with you. You can't take them with you.
Yeah.
And they'll be the first people in line when you finally succeed, being like, I knew you'd do it.
Yeah.
I knew you would get there. And that's great. You can say thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah. That's what I would say.
Well, thanks for sharing that tidbit, and thanks for coming on the show. This was great. I think a lot of stuff that we talked about here today is again kind of the stuff that people need to hear and work through.
Yeah.
And because again, as you mentioned earlier, like, you can be the millionaire in one area, you can have all the money, you can have whatever, and on the flip side, have other stuff and not have money. But if you're not leveraging the things for the right reasons and actually leaning into what I would refer to as the struggle and the pain, it's always going to come back, resurface, right?
Yeah.
So where can people stay connected with you online and learn more about everything you have going on?
So I would say my main page is on Instagram, because I have all my links on there through Linktree, which is just Ashley Maland, Maland. Also on TikTok, Ashley Taylor-Maland, and then Facebook. I think Facebook is Ashley Taylor-Maland as well. And then, of course, you can go watch my podcast, This Is Where We Heal, or you can go to my website, thisiswhereweheal.org or com. One of those two, you'll find it. And just learn more about the podcast, too, which is about healing and stuff from toxic relationships and moving forward in life. So
that's awesome. Well, thank you again so much.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. And thank you for listening or watching today's podcast. If you're listening to it on the podcast platform of your choice, make sure that you subscribe to the show. Make sure you leave us a 5-star review. And if you're watching it on YouTube, like the video, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, tell us something that you learned from it, and then share it on social media when the episode is out and you see it, so that way more people can hear and learn from Ashley and everything that we talked about here today. Thank you so much for watching today, watching or listening to today's episode. Again, authority is not built overnight, it's built over time. And we will see you next week.
Thanks so much for tuning into this episode. We sure do appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, make sure you're subscribed to the show wherever you consume podcasts. This way you'll get notifications as new episodes become available. If you feel so inclined, please leave us a review. We sure do appreciate it. Until next time, friends.